Good morning. Good morning. Welcome or welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Thursday, June the 26th. We are here to look at the new releases that have been published this week. And on Thursdays, we look at fantasy and science fiction. Quick announcements. I do have sprints tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. We do them every Tuesday and Thursday evenings and Saturday afternoons. Let us jump into fantasy and science fiction. Now, this first one has a nice epic cover. We approve-ish. The Last Vigilant by Mark A. Latham, first in the Kingdom of Oak and Steel. War between once peaceful nations is on the horizon, and the child of a powerful ally is missing. Now Holt Holly, an outcast soldier, has been sent to find a myth, a vigilant, one of the last survivors of an ancient and powerful order whose magic could be key to finding the child. But the vigilance disappeared long ago. No one truly expects him to succeed. Then, in a fabled forest, he stumbles upon a woman who claims to be the last vigilant. Anelda Drake is wizened and out of practice, and she seems a far cry from the heroes of legend. But they will need her powers and each other to survive, for nothing in their kingdom is as it seems. Corrupt soldiers and calculating politicians thwart their efforts at every turn, and there are dark whispers on the wind threatening the arrival of a primordial and powerful enemy. The Vigilant is not the only myth returning from the dead. Hello, Emily. How are you this morning? Hello, Mary. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Another hot day lined up with heat advisory today. Oh dear, must be summertime. Hello, Miss Emily. Well, at least you've got your air conditioning. Huzzah. The Illyrian Code by B.F. Peterson. The Treaty of Adrian Drawer, whatever. Fourth Wing meets the Atlas Six is how it is tagged. Any youth may apply to Ashtem University and gain the chance to join an elite order of dragon-riding, magic-wielding peacekeepers. Jaden, a privileged and reckless prince, looks forward only to the brief escape from his father's political machinations that his studies offer. Christina, a princess from a rival house, believes the order is the greatest force for good the world knows and can imagine no higher honor. Janae hates nobles and relishes the opportunity to compete as their equal. Dayar, who is smitten with Janae, roommates with Jaden and sworn to Christina's house, finds himself increasingly torn between the other three as they train, study, and jockey for position among their peers. But as evidence of the order's corruption begins to emerge, the students will have to re-examine their assumptions and about themselves, each other, and the role they hope to play in the order's future, if they aren't expelled first. The Gargoyles of Notre Dame 2 by Greg Walters. Emily says, yes, we have a heat advisory as well. 92% humidity right now. Yuck. I'll be getting together with some former coworkers for lunch today. Oh, that'll be nice. Going someplace special? Mary says, steamy heat, the hardest to endure in my book. Our humidity is bad today, too. Bleh. And there's bugs. You know, I'm just not a summer girl. Mary, are you going someplace special? I want to go out to lunch with me, myself, and I. That is also very nice. Usually only one of us shows up. Well, at least one. Don't know what I am hungry for. That's part of the fun, too. The hunt. Sometimes. France, 1791. 2 years after the fall of the Bastille, the streets of Paris are thick with hope and unrest. The dream of liberty has been awakened, but the monarchy still stands, and peace feels like a fading illusion. Henri, a gifted stonemason caught between two worlds, is reeling from murder of his mentor, Mirabeau. Haunted by loss and driven by love, he longs only to build a quiet future with Katya, the fierce revolutionary who stole his heart. But Katya is no longer free. Revered by the people as a symbol of resistance, she is trapped by the very ideals she helped ignite. As factions clash and loyalties are tested, Henri and Katya make a fateful choice that could upend not just their lives, but the fragile future of France itself. Well, it's here. It says perfect for fans of the Gilded Wolves and Jonathan Strange and Mr. No Realm. So like historical fantasy. The Dallergut Dream Making District. This is book 2 in the Dallergut Dream Department Store series by Mei Li. It's been a year since Penny first walked through the doors of the Dallergut Dream department store, and surviving a year at the store means one thing. She is now an official employee of the dream industry. She can finally take the express commuter train to the company district where all the dream production companies are located and discover how all raw dream materials and testing equipment are produced. The company district is not quite what she expected. Instead, it hides a secret underbelly of the magical industry that Penny thought she was part of. Penny discovers the Civil Complaint Center full of people filing complaints about their dreams. She also learns about the regular customers who have stopped coming to the store. As she gets to the bottom of each complaint, she begins to expand her horizons, moving beyond the role of dream seller to understanding what lies in the hearts of their lost regulars. An interesting concept, a unique concept. End of row 1. How refreshing. Nightshade by Autumn Woods. That poor person. This is first in the Sorrow Song University potential series. I do kind of like that cover. Emily says, we're going to a tea room in a nearby town. Ooh. Mary says, oh, I love a good trip to a tea room with friends. Know you'll have lots of fun chatter. Don't forget to wear your boa. Emily, I hear good things about book 1 in the Dallergut series. Oh, neat. It's a unique concept. I applaud that for sure. And it's too hot for a boa. Well, not if that's the only thing you're wearing. Back to Nightshade. At elite Sorrow Song University, hidden in the misty Scottish Highlands, Ophelia Winters is the ultimate outsider. Attending on a scholarship, she is there on a mission: investigate her parents' suspicious deaths and destroy the powerful man she holds responsible. But everything changes when Ophelia meets Alex Corbeau Green, the billionaire heir, campus royalty, and son of her prime suspect. She's convinced he's a monster, just like his father, until a stalker emerges and Alex becomes the only person she can trust in Sorrow Song's secret-laden hallways. As tension turns to yearning, Alex soon breaks down Ophelia's walls and her desire for revenge begins to unravel. Why is this in fantasy? Can she really bring herself to destroy everything he's ever known? Perfect for readers of Gothicana. Oh, heads up, it says there's a cliffhanger ending, which to me is just a flag saying don't read it until the next book is published. That was a silly thing to do. Heart of the Weirdwood by R.J. Barker. Mary says, I think I may drive to a local farm store and see what is offered. Heard they have peaches and apricots. Ooh, yum. Yes, indeed. Oh, that'll be, and the smells would be just amazing. Kehan du Nahar is lost, taken by a dark god whose tendrils reach throughout the world, intent on its destruction. Those who followed Kehan are spread across the land, desperate and lost. Now fate has turned against them. The reborn warriors are toys for the enemy. The warrior Dasset, Forestal Ania, and Monk Aunt are drawn to the dangerous north, but do not know why. Udini is forced into the company of a woman. This is third in a trilogy. That's why they're naming all these people that we don't know. Udini is forced into the company of a woman who desires nothing more than her death, and the Ray or Rai, the Rai Sorha leads a dwindling band on a mission even she believes is doomed to failure. Only the Tryon Ven remains hopeful, slowly growing in power and trusting in the path of their god. But maybe all is not lost. The great weird woods of Krua may be ancient and slow to act, but something in them is waking. Weirdwood is coming. So is winter. Oof, that had some names. An Ancient Witch's Guide to Modern Dating by Cecilia Edward. Some of these you don't know which category they fall into, but we put this one in fantasy. Meet Thorn Scarhart, a 39-year-old witch who's having trouble finding love in the 17th century. Because you're a witch. Despite the local matchmaker's efforts and Thorn's arsenal of powerful love potions, she has yet to fall in love. After the disappearance of her sister and the loss of her mother, Thorn was too caught up in, well, life to focus on dating. Now she fears she may have missed her chance. Well, you know, it's the 1600s. This is not really a dating kind of era. But when one of her potion brews backfires spectacularly, Thorn is hurled 350 years into the future, landing in a bustling city where her once isolated cottage is now a historical museum. While this unexpected leap through time may seem daunting, modern life does have its perks: indoor plumbing, electric kettles, and the world of online dating. At 39, the odds may not be perfect, but at least they're not impossible. With the help of the museum's new curator and her charming veterinarian brother, Thorn dives headfirst into the 21st century dating scene, and as she searches for romance, she might also find herself along the way. A Magic Deep and Drowning by Hester Fox. Ooh, Dutch Golden Age, like that era. The Dutch Republic, 1650. One fine spring day in Friesland, 20-year-old Clara van Wieren is faced with an ill omen, a whale beached and rotting in the noonday sun. But Clara doesn't believe in magic and superstition, and this portent is quickly dismissed when a proposal from a wealthy merchant arrives, promising Clara the freedom she seeks from her mother's overbearing rule. When her attempts at overseeing the household at the family's estate lead to her chance encounter with the young man with russet hair and sparkling eyes the color of the sea, she finds herself strangely drawn to him. As Clara draws closer to Moritz, she must choose between the steady, gentle life she has been raised for and the man who makes her blood sing. But Moritz isn't who he seems to be, and his secrets, once hidden beneath the waves, threatens to rise up and drown them both. But when an ancient bargain forged in blood between the mythical people of the sea and the rulers of the land begins to unravel, Clara finds herself at the heart of a deadly struggle for power. End of that row. Good afternoon, Helen. How's it going? And Mary says hello to Helen. The Legionnaire's Guide to Love and Peace by Emily Sprutsky. A one-night stand before their one last stand. On the eve of the battle that will decide the realm of Telrus's fate, Catrian takes a hard look at her prospects. A mere legionnaire, she and her spear will be at the 4 in the morning, facing off against the Demon Lord and his wretched army, and it's all but certain she'll perish in the fight. But if the end of the world is mere hours away, there's no reason not to hook up with her handsome, dedicated battle partner, Emery. Despite any anti-fraternization policies their centurion may have in place. Only the world doesn't end the next day. Instead, an insufferable prince raised in hiding comes out of nowhere with a plucky band of heroes, defeats the demon lord, and seals the rift to the hellish plane. The realm is saved, the war is over, and Kat suddenly has a lot more future than she knows what to do with. But while the demon lord has been destroyed, peace is still a long march away. When Kat inadvertently catches the eye of the prince, she, Emery, and the rest of their motley unit are pulled to the fore of the formation and the heart of the danger as the army embarks on one last campaign. As Kat and Emery work to secure a lasting peace, they'll have to decide what they want their futures to look like and if there's room for love at the end of the road. Yeah, those one-night stands don't always work out. The Lady, the Tiger, and the Girl Who Loved Death by Helen Marshall. That's a bright cover. As Sarah Sidorova hovers between life and death, she's visited by Amba, the tiger god who will devour creation if he is released from the chains that bind him. Amba gives Sarah an extraordinary gift, a glimpse into the future. Years later, her granddaughter Arenda will grow up in a war-torn country where survival means obedience. When a devastating attack robs her of her parents, she travels to Harana City. There, her grandmother agrees to teach her the ultimate secret, how to tame death. In the circus, amongst the magicians, the strongmen, and the contortionists, she will start down a dangerous road to carry out a revenge decades in the making and bring justice into the world for herself and her family. The Song of Amaru by P.J. Dudek, first in the Song of Amaru series. The vast plains of South Dakota offer Terran solace from both his dreams of the unknown past and the rumblings of a new global war, while a mysterious AI oversees society. Yet a haunting melody plays over the stillness of the grasslands, a melody he cannot escape, one that seems hungry to force him to remember. When a stranger dressed like a medieval traveler enters town, the already nervous community responds with alarm. Is this man there to cause trouble like the other newcomers? Those who claim to be part of a government organization observing a new illness in the area? And how does this man know Terran when Terran has no recollection of him? As the threat of war draws closer and strange sightings appear in the sky, Terran begins to discover that all the planet is not what it seems. What have his dreams been telling him? Is there more to the universe, to reality, than he could have ever imagined? Second Contact, Star Scrapper, book number 13 by J.N. Chaney, always around, Matthew A. Goodwin. J.N. Chaney is like the Robert Patterson of the sci-fi world. With the threat of Twain defeated, something strange is happening at the edge of known space. Ships are disappearing without a trace, and Hank's concerns are being dismissed as paranoia. But when an entire colony vanishes overnight, he knows he has to act. The problem is, no one wants to hear about a new threat so soon after the last war. Working with his closest allies, Hank begins to uncover evidence of something far worse than Twain ever was. An alien force has been watching humanity for centuries, and now they're done just observing. Can Hank survive long enough to find proof of this new threat? Short and sweet, we like those. End of that row. Court of Lies and Deceit by Marion Blackwood, third in the Flame and Thorns series. A desperate mission takes Selena and her friends to the Unseelie court, but making deals with the cunning fae of that realm is dangerous. When the Unseelie king forces them into a bargain in exchange for the help they so sorely need, they are pulled into a lethal scheme. To survive it, they must beat the Unseelie king at his own game. However, their chances of making it out alive are slim when the deck is stacked against them, and their own strained relationships are causing turmoil within the group. Winning would mean that they are one step closer to taking down the Ice Heart dynasty, but if they lose, it could mean the end of life as they know it. Secret agendas, hidden truths, and complicated feelings push Selena and her friends to the breaking point. Can they survive this dangerous scheme, or will their ambition cost them everything? Two more here. Lost Planet, Starship of the Ancients, Book 2 by A.K. Duboff. Powerful players scheming from the shadows, an ancient alien starship who can be trusted with the most coveted technology in the Commonwealth. Evan and Anya flee Athos with a target on their backs. Unfortunately, the ship's sentient AI is missing thousands of years of history and is just as surprised to be on the run. As they search for the ship's makers, Evan and Anya soon discover that the interstellar plot to transform the Commonwealth with alien tech runs much deeper than they'd ever imagined. With two factions squaring off on Ethos, they must pick a side. In the face of powerful adversaries, Evan and Anya will need to use all their skills and contacts to decide who they can trust with the ancient ship's powerful technology. Can they keep the ship from falling into the wrong hands? Last one. Curse of the Wolf by Lindsay Buroker. 5th in the Magnetic Magic series. Luna has freed the charming treasure-hunting werewolf Duncan from the magical control device that let their enemies manipulate him. Finally, she can trust him fully, and they can explore a romantic relationship, or so she thinks. But destroying that device has ramifications. The curse threatens to take Duncan's life. If they can't figure out a way to remove it, Luna will lose the man she's come to care deeply about. Maybe even love. All right, that is all we have. Now, there are more out there always. I cannot be 100% comprehensive. I do not list like the lit RPG ones or manga or anything like that. But this is a good, healthy sampling of the books this week. And Emily says, sounds yummy, Mary. Yes. And you've been beating up a storm, so that'll be a nice little treat for you. All right. And Emily says, see you tonight, ladies. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Back at you, baby. All right, as she mentioned, we do have sprints tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. I get here as quickly as I can after work because for me that is 6 p.m. So we usually start a few minutes early, but that is a working day. Mary says, you were quick today. Hope everyone has a great day. Helen, I know you're halfway through yours already. Stay cool and thanks. Absolutely. Same to you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you. So, tomorrow is Freeform Friday, and we'll look at more of the cozy mysteries. There's a handful of other things that kind of caught my attention that don't necessarily fall into those categories. As mentioned, please have a good day. Be safe, be cool. And as the banner says, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day and God bless.